Harris English is with us now at the 2025 Ryder Cup. Harris, welcome to your second Ryder Cup. We'll go ahead and get started with questions right here on mic 6.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask you about Keegan as captain. If there's an example maybe you could share that would kind of illustrate how he's been, his personality, and what his leadership style has been like.
I mean, what you see with him on the golf course is what you see as captain. He's got so much fire, so much passion. I mean, every day he thinks about the Ryder Cup, and he's instilling that on us. And he's been incredible at some of the team speeches. He's a big video guy, which I am as well. Very inspirational. It's been incredible. It's been incredible to see him kind of as a leader, and he's been unbelievable at it.
Ann?
Harris, how you doing? How do you think your calm demeanor will impact the team when you're, especially with guys like Bryson who love getting the fans excited and revved up?
Yeah, I love that from them. Everybody's kind of their own individual. Talked about that with some of the guys on the team. Like, I'm pretty calm on the course and even keeled, but I love guys that get fired up because that brings that side of me out. I mean, you see it occasionally in some tournaments on the PGA Tour, but this is a whole different deal where you're playing for bigger than yourself, and I've got to show some of that fire and bring that energy. That's what I'm focused on this week.
Right here, Cameron.
I know you weren't on the team in Rome in 2023, but what about the Ryder Cup week have you missed the most about now that you've kind of gotten back in the team room and everything over the last few days?
Just being around the guys. I mean, even playing practice rounds out there, hitting different shots around the greens. Just everybody's much more open into sharing their insight on kind of how they hit different shots and their approach to prep for a tournament. So I feel like for me, being around a lot of these guys that I look up to, we play week in, week out against each other, but it's nice to pick up some little tidbits of how they prepare and how they hit different shots, and everybody is very open into helping the team as a whole to get better and learning on this golf course.
And what did you learn most about the Ryder Cup 4 years ago that you can take into your preparation this week, or that has helped you be ready for what's to come? Yeah,
just kind of knowing how this week's going to go. I mean, these first few days, they're long. We've got a lot going on with the gala and the opening ceremony. I mean, it's so much different than just a normal week. And we each have our own routines, but you kind of get out of that routine and embrace it. I love being around the team. I love all the activities that we're doing, of kind of these bonding activities that I think will last for a lifetime.
Over to 9.
You start. All right. Hey, Harris. I think it's pretty obvious that the golf course is playing a fair bit easier than it has certainly at previous majors and or PGA Tour events here with the lower rough and now the softer conditions. I asked you to speculate a little bit here, but if you guys were playing stroke play, what kind of number do you think numbers might be out there?
For a 4-round tournament, I'd probably say 18 to 20 under. I mean, it can still bite you out there, especially that back nine. If you miss a couple drives, you're having some kind of mid-irons into the greens, and you can start missing in some pretty bad places. But, this is not the normal Bethpage Black that we're used to. You're going to see a lot more birdies out there than you normally would in the PGA or the U.S. Open. But I think that's great, and that's what we're ready for.
And then just quick, unrelated follow-up. There's been a lot of chatter about how good Bryson has been in the team room this week. Could you maybe give a specific example that might illuminate that?
Yeah, I mean, he's been awesome. I'm not really big into the Instagram or the TikTok or Snapchat, so when we're at the opening ceremony kind of standing around getting ready to go, he was kind of taking me through all the stuff he does, and that's kind of a different world that I'm not used to seeing. I do Twitter, and I follow a lot of Georgia football stuff, Jaguars stuff, so I'm not in the world he's in, but it was kind of cool to get that insight of what he does and his plan of growing the game as much as possible and trying to relate to kids and bringing kids to the game of golf, which I think is really cool.
Dylan?
Yeah, I was going to ask you what's something specific that you've learned about another one of your teammates. I think that might be number one on the list, but does anyone else come to mind this week?
I've just grown closer to that I
Yeah. Any fun facts you might have learned?
And, I mean, I've been spending a lot of time with Russell this week. It's nice to get back playing a lot of golf with him. We've grown up together. I've played with him since I was probably 10 years old, and obviously the same year at the University of Georgia, we're roommates for 2 years, and just kind of talking a lot about what we've been through our lives, and finally we're 36 years old. We're both playing on the Ryder Cup team at Bethpage. Like, if you would have told us that when we were 14 years old playing in Southeastern Junior Golf Tour events, like, we wouldn't have believed it. And it's been really cool to share that experience with him and kind of lean on each other. I mean, this is his first Ryder Cup. I know he's played the last President's Cup, but not that I need to help him out a whole lot, but just kind of give him some insight on what I learned at Whistling Straits. And it's just been really cool for me to share that experience with him.
Yeah, is that emotional to think about? I mean, you know, we hear so much now about how young the game is getting and how ready guys are out of college to kind of think of, you know, two guys that have had great tour careers now being on the same team at the same time, you know, now that you guys are in your 30s.
Yeah, just a lot of gratitude. I mean, that's kind of what Keegan has preached a little bit to us, and kind of what I've been thinking about this whole year is I mean, ultimately this might be my last Ryder Cup, and I'm okay with that. You never know what's going to happen in 2 years or where this game takes you. So I'm trying to stay as present as possible and soak it all in and enjoy the moment. And then when the gun goes off on Friday, to give it everything I have.
Over here to Mike 14.
Harris, there's been kind of a narrative, whether fair or unfair, that the European team is more close, they care more. Is that something you guys have kind of talked about in your team room?
We haven't really talked about what they're doing at all. We're focused really on what we do, and Keegan has hit on a few points and getting us ready to go. We don't really pay attention to what those guys are doing, and we're going to do the best job we can and get everybody for the common goal and working on trying to get this Ryder Cup back.
Thanks. Paul on 12.
Harris, you played in 21 just 4-ball with Tony both sessions. Was that kind of always in your prep? And then this year, maybe with a little bit more optionality, how like prepping for foursomes has gone for you?
Yeah, I mean, Tony Finau was unbelievable partner. One of the best dudes I've ever played with. So yeah, it kind of eased me into the Ryder Cup. That was my rookie year on the Ryder Cup team, and yeah, obviously best ball is a little easier of a format for us to play because you're playing your own ball, kind of your own strategy, and foursomes is different. I've kind of done both this week and kind of ready for whatever captain wants me to play. I've told him if he just wants me to play one match, if he wants to play 5 matches, I'm going to be ready. And yeah, trying out some different balls, getting in the rhythm of foursomes a little bit, and a little bit of different strategy that you have to work on.
I know you're not a guy that tweaks a ton, so when a new ball gets thrown in there, like what's the process for you to kind of try to figure some of that stuff out?
It's a lot of, I think off the driver is pretty easy to figure out, but it's a lot of the iron shots, wedge shots, making sure you're hitting the windows that you want to hit and seeing if the ball spins a little more or spins a little less, and also a little bit around the green. I mean, the cover can be a lot of how soft it comes off or firm, and a little bit with the putter. I mean, it's a lot more that goes into it than people think of putting or chipping a different golf ball. And definitely prepped some last week at home with that, and been prepping this week for that as well, if that opportunity arises.
Take one more up top, 16.
Hey, Harris. Just wanted to ask you about your caddy. Eric obviously was missing at the Open. You have him here. What was it like to obviously not have him, and what's the importance, what's the relationship going to be like this week? How are you going to rely on him, I guess, a hell of a lot?
Yeah, we're all disappointed that he couldn't come over to the Scottish Open and the Open Championship. I mean, he's been a massive part of my team for the last 8 years or so. Caddy for me at Whistling Straits. I mean, he's the best guy in the world. It means a lot to me, and he's been pushing me to get back here. He believes in me probably more than anyone out there. So I appreciate his support and everything he does for me. And this is as much about me getting back here as it is him, and I want him to enjoy every moment. He's getting older too, so you never know if he's going to be back here as well. So he's having a good time. He's one of the favorites amongst the players and caddies, and obviously with his story of being in prison, I mean, he has seen kind of some dark places, and to get here and to see these crowds and to be in this moment is very special for him.
Thanks for your time, Harris. We appreciate it.
All right.